Hola, my name is Daisy and I'm going to be doing Kyushu 1, and the question that I'm going to try to answer is where are language distributed? Language is a way of communication through speech, a collection of sounds that a group of people understand and also have the same meaning. About 85 languages are spoken by 10 million people. 300 languages are spoken from 1 to 10 million people, and the rest of the other languages are spoken by less than 1 million people. Many countries use one language as their official language. Governments use this language for laws, reports, money, road signs, and stamps. Languages are organized by a language family, which is a collection of languages related through a common ancestry and existed long before history was recorded. A language branch is a collection of languages within a family that have the same ancestry as well and existed several thousand years ago. A language group is a collection of languages within a branch that have shared the same origin and recent past and have the same grammar and vocabulary. Language family would be the branch of a tree because it's been there the longest before history was ever recorded. And language branch would be the branches because it's been there for thousands of years. And the language groups would be leaves because it's most recent and they have the same vocabulary and grammar. Indo-European is mostly in Europe, South Asia, and North and Latin America. Sino-Tibetan is mostly Chinese languages spoken in small countries such as Southeast Asia. Chinese languages are written in logograms, which is a symbol that represents a sound and or meaningful parts of the word, rather than sounds unlike in English. Other Asia language families. Several other language families spoken by large amounts of people can be found in East and South Asia. Clustered on tiny islands include some are Japanese and Korean. Languages of Southwest and North Africa and Central Asia. The largest language families are Afro-Asiatic, Altic, and Uralic. African language families. All African languages are not recorded, but some have been recorded by European missionaries with Roman and Arabic alphabet, but lack of tradition. Some recorded languages are these three.
So my name is Allison. I'm going to be covering Kyushu 2 of our chapter Languages. My focus question is why is English related to other languages? A key term to know in this key issue is the Indo-European family, which is the most widely spoken language family. It is divided into 8 branches, which include the Albanian, Armenian, Balto-Slavic, Celtic, Germanic, Greek, Indo-Iranian, and Romance. The 4 most major widely spoken language branches of the Indo-European family would be the Balto-Slavic, Germanic, Indo-Iranian, and Romance. Although I'm only going to be covering 2 of these majorly widely spoken language branches of the Indo-European family due to its connections to the relation of English to other languages. Going on, the Germanic branch is home to the languages English and German, and due to this they are structurally similar to each other and have many words common within their languages. And English, more specifically, is found within the West Germanic group and is further divided into High Germanic subgroups and Low Germanic subgroups due to the elevations found within Germany. And English falls under the Low Germanic subgroup. And now the Indo-Iranian branch, which consists of the most speakers out of all the Indo-European branches. Over 100 individual languages are included in this branch, and so it is divided into 2 groups. Indic as an Eastern group and Iranian as a Western group. Language is one of the main elements of cultural diversity among over 1 billion residents of India. India has 438 languages on average currently being spoken, and due to this, many residents of India cannot easily communicate to each other. And so English is retained as a secondary official language in order for communication to flow easily. And so the distribution of languages exists due to patterns of origin and diffusion. The origin and diffusion of English began when the British Isles were invaded by 3 Germanic tribes, which are the Saxons, the Angles, and the Jutes. And the language spoken by these 3 Germanic tribes is what modern-day English primarily evolved from. The distribution of English speakers worldwide exists due to the migration of England residents.
Aloha, my name is Ileana, and today I am doing Key Issue 3, and the question for Key Issue 3 is, why do individual languages vary among places? So there are 2 different vocabulary words that you need to know in this Key Issue 3, which is dialect and isogloss. So isogloss means a boundary that separates regions in which different language uses predominate. And dialect, which means a regional variation of a language known by distinctive vocabulary, spelling, and pronunciation. So there are many dialects in English, which are various languages of that dialect migrates to other locations which may develop. So English has many dialects, which include British, India, Pakistan, and Australia. Also, there is a settlement in the east that is settled in the Atlantic coast in 13 separate colonies. So for New England, there are settlers from England, and Southeastern, which is represented a diversity of a social class background, also known as deported prisoners, indentured servants, political and religious refugees. So mass media. There are different ways that languages can be spread around the country or state or anything like that by using TVs and radios. So they influence the adoption of the same words throughout the area. So the Creole or Creolized language is defined as a language that results from the mixing of the colonizer's language with the indigenous language of the people being dominated. So dialect or language. Difficulties arise in determining whether 2 languages are distinct or whether they are 2 dialects of the same language. So in a language with multiple dialects, one dialect may be recognized as the standard language. So a standard language, which is a dialect that is well established and widely recognized as the most acceptable for governments, business, education, and mass communication. So dialects in the UK. English originated with 3 invading groups from North Europe who settled in different parts of Britain, which is the Angles in the north, the Jutes in the southeast, and the Saxons in the southwest. So to sum up, why do individual language vary among places? Dialect is a regional variation of a language. The United States have several major dialects. 2, dialects vary based on vocabulary, spelling, and pronunciation. The last one that you need to know is this distinction between a dialect and an entirely different language is always clear and cut.
Some endangered languages are being preserved. Linguistics expect that hundreds of languages will become extinct in the 21st century and that only about 300 languages are safe from extinction. An example is Occitan, spoken by 2 million people in southern France. The French government has created bilingual schools that teach both Occitan and French. Hebrew. It was diminished in use in the 4th century BC and thereafter retained only for Jewish religious services. It was once one of the official languages in Israel in 1948, along with Arabic.
Bonjour, my name is Avery Rawl. I got Key Issue Quattro. Why do people preserve local languages? Difficulties can arise at the boundary between 2 languages. For example, Belgium. Here's a map of Belgium. Belgium is split into 2 different regions, the southern and the northern. The northern are the Flemings, the southern are the Walloons. The Flemings speak Flemish, the Walloons speak French. And the Flemings want to move away from the Walloons for personal reasons that can't be discussed right now. And if the Flemings split away from the Walloons, then they'll be making bank. And if the Walloons move away from the Flemings, then they'll be poor people on the street.
An isolated language is unrelated to any other
and therefore not attracted to any language. For example, Basque. The Pyrenees Mountain is where Basque was located, and it is north of Spain and southwest of France. It is the first language of 666,000 people, and their isolation has helped preserve their language.
I know you care.